Intercultural relationships sounds exciting, right? But most people in America get them wrong. Today, I will share what I have learned from my marriage and why understanding Eastern culture can change how you see love. Hello, I am Kate. I'm Russian, married to a Pakistani man. We live between two very different worlds, but this world taught me lessons about love that I want to share with you. Let's talk about what many Americans misunderstand about the relationship in the East. In America, relationships are usually about two people. It's about their love, their life, and their choices. But in the East, love is much bigger. It includes the whole family. When I married my husband, I thought it would be just about us. But suddenly, I had the whole family to care about. His parents, siblings, uncles, aunts, and cousins. At first, it felt overwhelming. In Russia, family is close, but everyone has their own space. In Pakistan, families are deeply connected. Everyone helps, everyone shares, and everyone supports each other. It was hard for me to adjust, but soon I saw the beauty of it. I felt like I belonged to something much bigger. Americans can learn that relationships are not just about two people, they are about building a strong community. In America, independence is important. People want their own space, their own plans, and their own lives. But in East, independence it's about balance. When I joined my husband's family, I noticed that decisions were made together. Big or small, everyone had a say. At first, I found it strange. I was used to making my own choices, but I realized it was not about control, it was about respect. For example, if we planned a trip, we always asked the family first. It was a way to show care and love. Independence doesn't mean doing everything alone. It means finding freedom while staying connected to the people you love. In America, people often say, I love you or I miss you. Words are very important. In the East, love is not always spoken, it's shown in actions. For example, my husband's family showed love by taking care of me. They would bring me tea, make my favorite food, or help me to adjust to their traditions. When I cooked Russian food for my husband, he didn't just say thank you. He smiled and told me a story about how food connects people in his culture. That's love in action. Americans can learn to see love in small actions, not just words. In America, people believe in solving arguments by talking about everything. It's about expressing feelings openly. In the East, arguments are handled differently. People don't always argue to win or prove a point. They argue to find peace. When my husband and I had misunderstandings, he didn't rush to talk it out. He would take time, think about the problem, and come back with a calm solution. At first, I thought he was avoiding the issue, but then I realized he was protecting our relationship. Americans can learn that not every argument needs to be intense. Sometimes patience and calm can solve problems better. In America, people focus on personal happiness. They ask, does this person make me happy? In the East, happiness is about the whole family. When my husband made decisions, he always thought about his family. If they were happy, he was happy. At first, I didn't understand this, but then I saw how it created harmony in his life. Americans can learn that true happiness comes from making the people around you happy too. In America, everything is fast paced. Relationships are often rushed, falling in love, moving in, getting married. In the East, relationships take time to grow. When I first joined my husband's life, I noticed how patient his family was with me. They didn't expect me to understand their traditions overnight. When I struggled with learning Urdu or understanding the family dynamics, they encouraged me to take my time. One example, learning to make Pakistani chai. I burned the milk the first time. Instead of laughing, my mother in law patiently showed me the right way. It became a bonding moment. Americans can learn that patience is a sign of love. It gives relationship time to grow naturally without rushing. In America, respect often means being polite or saying please and thank you. But in the East, respect is deeply woven into daily life. One of the first things I noticed in my husband's family was how much they respected their elders. Meals didn't start until the oldest family member had taken the first bite. Decisions were always made with their advice in mind. I remember one evening my husband's grandmother shared a story from her childhood. Everyone listened intently, and I realized how much wisdom and love was hidden in her words. It reminded me of how my Russian grandmother would tell us stories during long winters. Americans can learn that respect is about more than words. It's about actions, listening, honoring traditions, and showing care. In America, celebrations are often small and personal. Birthdays or holidays might include a few friends and family. In the East, celebrations are grand, loud, and full of life. The first time I experienced Eid with my husband's family, I was overwhelmed. The house was filled with people, cousins, neighbors, even friends of friends. Food was everywhere, love in every room, and gifts were exchanged. It reminded me of Russian New Year Eve. We would cook all day, gather the family, and stay up until midnight sharing stories. The energy and love felt the same, even though the traditions were different. Americans can learn that celebrations are about togetherness. It's not just about the event, but the people you shared it with. In America, people are encouraged to handle their problems on their own. Independence is a big deal, but in the East, problems are solved as a family. When my husband and I faced challenges, his family always stepped in to help, whether it was advice, emotional support, or just being there. They made sure we never felt alone. Americans can learn that asking for help it's not a weakness, it's a way to strengthen relationships and show trust to your loved ones. So, what do Americans get wrong about intercultural relationships in the East? They often focus on individuality and personal happiness, forgetting the bigger picture. In the East, relationships are about family, respect, patience, and shared love. Whether you are in an intercultural relationship or just curious about other cultures, remember this. Love looks different everywhere, but its heart is always the same. Have you learned something from another culture that changed how you see love? Share your story in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it. Until next time, bye bye. Paka paka.